You're watching Valley Vision TV on Comcast Channel 7.
Hello and welcome to Mac & Miles Bruins Tuesday Night Live. Hello everyone, I'm Nick DeSanctis alongside Richmond Bramblett here on Tuesday, November 8th. Tonight we'll be joined by women's soccer coach Phil Benny, freshman cross-country runner Grace England, along with assistant cross-country and track and field coach Carl Blickel. Senior women's basketball player Nikki Moats will join us, as well as former volleyball and women's basketball standout Caitlin Long-Moore, women's basketball coach Susan Dunnigan, senior men's basketball player Logan Singleton, men's basketball coach Paige Moyer, along with the strength and conditioning coach Dave Sampson, as always, for the meets of the week. Let's get things started tonight by taking a look back at women's soccer.
It was announced yesterday afternoon that the women's soccer team earned a spot for the third time in school history in the NCAA tournament. They earned an at-large bid after a 14-4-1 season. The Maroons did lose, however, in the semifinal round of the ODAC tournament, 2-0 to Virginia Wesleyan, and later on, we will take a look at the bracket as we close, and you'll see that Virginia Wesleyan and Roanoke have the possibility to play again, which will be an interesting matchup, provided that there are a couple of wins. 5 players were named to the ODAC All-Conference team as Maya Cantor and Carmen Graves earned first-team honors. Rebecca Adams was tabbed with second-team accolades, and Stephanie Parento and Jamie Johnston received third-team honors.
Taking a look back at field hockey, the team finished the 2011 season 6-12, went 4-4 within the ODAC. It was also announced yesterday that 4 players were named to the All-ODAC teams. Junior defender Laura Stavesky was named second-team All-Conference, while Alexa Nunn, Lachelle Pace, and Tina Ciccolone each garnered third-team honors.
The men's and women's cross-country teams both finished 5th in the ODAC tournament, as Grace England finished 4th in her race and Tim Smith won his race. Tim Smith was named ODAC Cross-Country Runner of the Year, as well as ODAC Student Athlete of the Year for cross-country. Grace England was named the 2011 ODAC Rookie of the Year in cross-country.
The men's soccer team finished their season 7-3-1 within the ODAC. They hosted the opening round of the ODAC tournament, where they fell to Virginia Wesleyan 2-0. Brian White netted 8 goals this season to lead the team in scoring, while Avery Makel started all 19 contests in goal for the Maroons, making 61 saves.
Senior volleyball player Kelsey Largen was named the All-Conference third team, announced yesterday. Largen led the Maroons in kills with 274, digs with 250, and aces with 50. She closed her career at Roanoke College in the top 10 all-time in kills. She was 4th with 1,079. Digs, she was 6th with 926, and she was 12th in aces with 133. And again, she had 50 of those 133s this season alone.
Richmond will be right back with women's soccer head coach Phil Benny.
Now you're going up against a very tough and one of my personal rivals, Center College team, ranked 27th in the country and the SCAC tournament runner-up. They have a 14-4-2 record entering this weekend, and you'll have to travel as far as your team, as far as their team, as they're coming from Danville, Kentucky, to Atlanta, Georgia. What do you know about the Center team, and how are you preparing for this week's contest?
At this point, we've got some calls in for scouting reports from some of the coaches out of conference, coaches that they've played. But we have some like teams that we played. We both played Birmingham Southern, which we got a win against, and they had a tight match. And the University of South, I think they beat, and who we beat. So we got some like schools. So we got a kind of idea of what we're up against. Looking at the record, they're going to be very tough on defense, and they're going to play hard at this point. No one has anything to lose, and all the teams are good. They wouldn't be here for they're here for a reason.
Sure. So. Now, I know that your team was in the same predicament last year as they fell to Virginia Wesleyan in the semifinal round of the ODAC tournament. What did you tell them over the weekend following the loss and before the selection show, as I'm sure they were excited last year to try and get in at an at-large bid?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough position to be in. You just lost in the conference semifinals, which happened the year before. Kind of the difference was we were ranked sixth in the region this year. Last year we were 7th going into that game, and which is kind of the bubble number. I think at that game we played very well. So I couldn't be disappointed in the team, and I told them that. But I told them I thought we had played well enough through the season and then had the quality wins. Our strength of schedule, we had played 7 ranked teams in the region and won 3 of those seven games. So I thought our resume was good enough, but when things go to committee, you just don't know. So.
Absolutely, and while you have, again, as you haven't played center this fall, and you're talking about some of the teams that you had played, you did meet up early this season against sectional host Emory University, which carries a strong 15-0-2 mark entering the postseason. How do you feel your chances of taking on a team of that caliber again if you can knock off center on Saturday in Atlanta?
I mean, Emory's a fantastic team, undefeated on the year. Seeing them play twice. Obviously, we played them. Then I saw them watch them play Lynchburg. But that's at the beginning of the season. They're probably a little bit different team, and we're a little bit different team now. We've learned more about ourselves. So, they're fantastic. They're big. They're athletic. They move great off the ball, and they just do a lot of great things. But we'll be ready for them. Hopefully, we get to that point.
Now, as a group, you've had a group, actually 5 all-conference selections this fall, including a lot of players. But Carmen Graves, Rebecca Adams, Steph Parenteau, and Cindy Statora have carried your offensive attack this fall. But the leadership of the senior team captain, Jamie Johnston, and sophomore all-region defender Maya Cantor has anchored the defense while mentoring the first-year starter at goalkeeper, Carolyn Sarbacher. Could you tell us about their roles this season and what that really meant to the team?
Really, I mean, that's our defense back there. And you throw that group, Maya, Jamie, Sarbacher in the net, and then you throw in Jordan May, Sarah Dorrance, and Pierce Gardner. They've been a great crew in the back. And they've really made it hard for any team to score on us. I mean, we got a tight defense, and we don't give up a lot of good opportunities going to goal. So, you mentioned Jamie, senior captain. You can't. She's done a great job this year, and doesn't come off the field along with Maya. So when we play well in the back, and teams, we're always in the game. So they've been instrumental in our success.
Well, again, Coach, congratulations on the NCAA tournament bid. We'll definitely look forward to watching that game on the internet against Center College. I'll definitely be. If I wasn't already rooting for you all as much as I was, I'm definitely rooting for you more now that I know that you're playing center. So good luck this weekend, and we hope to possibly have you on the show again to talk about the success of this upcoming weekend.
Thanks, Richmond.
Thank you. We'll be back in just one moment with freshman cross-country runner Grace England. We're back with freshman cross-country runner Grace England. Now, Grace, you hail from Pulaski County High School, which is nearby Roanoke College in the New River Valley. What made you want to attend Roanoke College?
Well, at first I really thought that I wanted to attend a larger school, but after getting used to the smaller atmosphere, I realized that I really liked it better. I felt a lot more valued as an individual, and I felt like I could actually be successful on a cross-country team. I felt really intimidated by the programs at other schools.
Now being at a smaller school at a cross-country team like this, you have had quite the freshman year along with all ODAC runners, let alone on your team. You've been named ODAC Runner of the Year for 3 weeks. You have led the Maroons in nearly every meet this season. Could you tell us how this fall has been for you, adjusting to classes, college life, and, of course, practice and cross-country meets?
As far as academics go, it hasn't been too bad, actually. Last year, I had dual enrollment and governor's school classes, which was a lot with track. So the workload wasn't a whole lot to get used to, but having to balance taking care of myself and getting to practice, getting into lift, everything else. Took a little bit of time, but it's better now. So.
And how excited were you when you saw the first time that you were named ODAC Runner of the Week?
I actually didn't know right away until people started congratulating me, and I didn't really know why. I just thanked them, and I had to look it up.
Now, you were named ODAC Rookie of the Year in Women's Cross Country after posting a top 10 finish at the conference championship meet on October 29th, and you were named first team All ODAC as well. How did it feel to earn both honors following that meet?
At the beginning of the season, I never even would have thought about something like that. And even after the meet, since I hadn't really expected that kind of thing, really my personal best time was the most important to me. And just through the season, I trained hard and did my best to listen to Coach because our workouts and everything was so much different than high school. I had to get used to that. And I just raced hard and just left the outcome to be as it was going to be. So.
Well, Grace, congratulations on your fantastic finish and your fantastic season. And I certainly know that this will not be the last time that we talk to you on Tuesday Night Live. And we will be back in just one moment with assistant cross-country coach Carl Blickel.
Welcome back to Mac and Bob's for Tuesday Night Live. I'm joined by track and field and cross-country assistant coach Carl Blickel. Now, Carl, we were looking forward to having Grace on the show for a while. A three-time ODAC Runner of the Week selection, a local product out of Pulaski, ended up being named the Rookie of the Year for cross-country. Could you tell us a little bit about her fantastic season?
Well, Grace obviously had a great year. You rattled off a few of the things that she accomplished. To come into the conference like the ODAC, which is probably one of the premier running conferences in our country, and to finish fourth overall is a great accomplishment. So she was first team ODAC, and she was obviously Rookie of the Year, which are all huge accomplishments. You know, one thing about Grace is she has an incredible work ethic. Anything she does, whether it's out on the track or out on the trails or even in the weight room, she just works her little butt off all the time. And she has the ability to push herself in both practice, and that kind of carries over to the meets.
Now, Tim Smith, who we had on in October, remarkable finish, coming up first place to earn all ODAC first team honors, as well as the Scholar Athlete of the Year for cross country. How has his leadership, both vocally and by action, helped your team this fall?
One word that I describe Tim Smith with is just tough. He's just a tough kid, a tough runner. His ability to push himself just like Grace, workouts, races, is beyond anybody else I've ever run with or I've ever seen. And by doing that, I think he really instills that in some of the other guys. And a lot of the other guys have stepped up this year by Tim's leadership, both what he's doing with his legs through the running, but also vocally and encouraging to do the right thing, listen to Coach Pincus and myself, and, you know, just doing the core workouts or the stretching or these little things here and there. Tim really pushes the guys to do that.
Now, with the NCAA Southeast Regional meet, coming up this weekend, both runners we just mentioned have their hopes of advancing. Could you tell us about their possibilities of moving on to the D3 championship meet?
Well, the way the regional meets is there's 2 automatic bids, and then there's some at-large teams. The South region is not that, as far as the overall nation goes, it's not as one of the stronger regions. So we'll only have 2 teams to go from that. So from there, that's about 14 individuals. The top 7 individuals to qualify from the region that are not on those 2 teams advance to nationals. So you got to be approximately in the top 15 in the race. And this is a race of about 300 runners or so in 35 teams. So to do that is quite an accomplishment. You're out all region. Start with Tim. I think Tim has a great opportunity and is probably one of the favorites in the region. The kid he beat at the ODAC meet was first overall in the region last year, and Tim beat them at the ODAC meet. So I'd say Tim one's one of the favorites. I think Grace also has a great opportunity and has a good shot at going. She's a little bit more of an underdog, and I think that could work to her advantages. People not knowing exactly who she is or who Roanoke College is, so maybe she could sneak up and jump in that top 15 or top 10 at the last mile of the race or so.
Now, as one season ends, another begins. Indoor track and field starting up with you and Coach Pincus at the helm again. What can you expect from your athletes this winter?
We have high expectations going into this year, that's for sure. For the men, we're looking to place top 3, top 4 in the ODAC. Last year indoors we were 5th, so we're looking to step that up. We have quite a few good returners. Colton Linton, he was 2nd in the 200 indoors. We're looking for him to repeat in that and possibly be top 2 in the 55 dash as well. Jed Curtis, he was injured all last indoor season. 2 years ago, he was all ODAC in the high jump and the 55 hurdles. We're looking for him to step up and perform well in both those events. Tucker Cunningham, which he was one of the best freshmen in the conferences last year, he's definitely going to be one of the favorites in both the 55 hurdles and the 400-meter dash. And other than that, some of the men that will be contributing are Chase Bohr, Trevor Hunt, Tim Smith, obviously, A.J. Bernstein, who we've all heard in cross country. And then we have 2 very good freshmen that are coming in, Joe Morris in the throws and Caleb Bledsoe. On the women's side, last year I was new to the team and I didn't know really what to expect. And I thought finishing 2nd overall in the ODACs was a great accomplishment, especially considering how good the ODAC is. But they were obviously disappointed. So this year it's all business. We want to go in and win both indoor and outdoor, and that's the goal, and that's what we're looking to do. Some of the leaders that are returning, obviously Carmen Graves, which we've heard of in soccer. She is one of the best 800 runners in the entire country. Also, she's a very good jumper and a short sprinter. Sarah Witt in the 55 hurdles. She's a national qualifier in the past. She will probably be one of the favorites in the conference. Megan Tolley, Brittany Cornett will also be some of the favorites in the hurdles and the jumps. And then besides that, obviously Grace will be making an impact and some of the other freshman cross-country runners. And then we brought in a slew of freshman runners, Hope Flomo, Esther Premfe, Jessica Meja, and Tony Duval, just to name a few. And all their times in high school could possibly win some of the ODAC events. So they'll be doing very well this year as well.
Great. Now, last time we had you on, it was possibly one of the worst weekends in Philadelphia sports history. You being just outside of the city of brotherly love, do you think things have started to get back on track up there?
I knew this was going to come up, and I thought you were going to reference something to this, and I wish this could be a happy talk about how great the Eagles are doing and how we're going to make the playoffs this year, but myself, along with a lot of the other Philadelphia fans, I think a lot of our dreams were crushed last night around 11:45, and I'm not too happy, and it was definitely a mellow Tuesday and a humbling Tuesday. So maybe things will turn around, but it's not looking too good.
There's always next year. Carl, thanks so much for coming down. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Nick.
Richmond will be right back with Caitlin Long-Moore.
We're back with volleyball and basketball alumnus Caitlin Long-Moore. Now, you had an outstanding career as a two-sport athlete at Roanoke College from 2006 to 2010, playing both volleyball and basketball. You were also a three-sport athlete at Cave Spring High School, playing soccer in addition to the two sports that I just listed. What made you want to play sports year-round growing up?
Well, I think it had a lot to do with like what my friends were doing. Not only did I play basketball for, I guess, since I was like 5, I picked up volleyball, I guess, about my 8th grade year. But my friends really played soccer, a lot of them. And so I was just like, well, I'm just going to like pick this up in 7th grade and, want to play with them and be with them. And it ended up being fun. I stopped playing my junior year, I think. I had injuries right after basketball season the 2 prior years. And So I just chose that it was just not the thing for me, obviously. So I just decided to have that time off.
Now, your dad, a longtime high school baseball coach at Glenvar, where he won a state title, is now the assistant baseball coach here at Roanoke College. We had the pleasure of having him on the show last spring, and really is about the kids and has a strong passion for the game. With his experience with baseball, why didn't you ever want to play softball in high school as opposed to soccer?
Well, I actually played softball my whole life until about 7th grade when I chose to play soccer. I just felt it just wasn't fast enough for me. When I started playing basketball and volleyball, everything was just so fast, and I enjoyed that part of the game. So I just decided softball just wasn't for me. I didn't want to have to, like, go out and, stay in the sun all day and, have to deal with that. But he always wanted me to play, and the coaches at K-Spring always asked me to come out and play, and I was just like, nah, I don't think I really want to do that.
Now, you did have some opportunities to go play at the Division I level in both basketball and volleyball, but only as a single-sport athlete. Roanoke College provided you the opportunity to play both. Was that a major factor in choosing to attend Roanoke College?
It definitely was. I feel like even though I could have walked on at those Division I schools, and I had a D2 opportunity with a scholarship to play volleyball, but I just felt it was the same price as Roanoke, and I was going to be able to be near my family, which was a big, important factor for me.
Sure.
I think my whole family has always supported me through high school and, coming to all my games. And I think my senior night here for basketball, I think we had like 30 people come to see me play or more. It was like my entire family came, and it's so awesome to have that support and for them to enjoy being able to watch me.
Now, earlier we talked about other all-time records in volleyball, but you, as a volleyball player, hold the all-time record in single-season digs, career digs, and ranked among the top 10 in both aces and assists. You had to play both as a libero and as a setter during your 4 years in Salem. You led the Maroons to a program best 24-4 record in 2008, and as a captain your senior year advanced to the program's 4th ODAC championship game. Could you tell us about your favorite memory or memories playing volleyball here?
I definitely think it had to be the ODAC quarterfinals playing against Washington and Lee. We had played them 3 times that season and had lost every single time, every game. We hadn't even taken a game from them yet. And we got there, and it was so, discouraging to have to play them the first game. But we were so excited at the same time because we were always right there, point to point the whole other games. And so finally when we came down to that, it was just amazing, the game, how it went. We were down 2 games. And we were like, well, there's no hope. We might as well just have fun now, and end it. But we ended up coming back and playing over 25 points every time. And it was a really great game.
Well, that's always some of the best situations when, you're down 2-0. The stress is off. At that point, you might as well just go ahead and play. And
yeah,
it
it
turns out for the
definitely
best.
was like that, too. So it was a really great experience. And then we end up beating, Lynchburg and making it to the ODAC finals in all those years. And it was just a really great experience.
Now, we understand that you already had a closer relationship with head volleyball coach Blair Trail, and she was one of the deciding factors on you attending Roanoke. What was it like to play for head coach Blair Trail?
She has coached me, I think I was 14 years old in travel volleyball, and she was my coach through, all those years, and I absolutely love her. She's such an amazing person and an amazing coach, and she just knows how to have fun with you and to make you enjoy the game. She's serious, and she's going to get on you if you, make a mistake or you're kind of piddle farting around, but she's so wonderful to play for, and I was so glad that I got to play for her for those 4 years.
Now, as we are currently in the year transitioning from fall to spring, as a volleyball player, you guided the Maroons to back-to-back 20-win campaigns, and a trip to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 10 years. You were a 1,000-point scorer and ranked 2nd all-time in career three-pointers made. You were also 9th all-time at Roanoke College in career free throws made. Could you tell us your favorite memory or memories playing for Susan Dunnigan and Roanoke women's basketball?
You know, I've had a lot of moments with Dunnigan. It's hard to pick one that would be good to talk about, but I think for playing wise, I think going to the NCAA tournament was probably the best moment. You know, we got to travel to Christopher Newport and experience that, you know, the feeling of playing in those games and, you know, having that drive to want to win. And it was just a really great experience. I can't even, like, explain, like, how it felt to be in the NCAA tournament after, like, working so hard every year and always losing in the semifinals in the ODAC. You know, it's so hard to, like, even think that you're going to get in, but we worked so hard that year, and we were a really great team. So it was really great to be able to get there and experience that and go there and play 2 rounds, even though we lost, but it was so great.
Well, maybe we can get Coach Dunnigan to tell some stories when she comes on here in a moment.
I doubt it.
Now, you are a coach at your alma mater, Cave Spring, as volleyball and girls basketball assistant coach. It's now your second season with the programs. So tell us what it's like to be on the other side of the fence as a coach.
Well, it's a little different, obviously. You know, I'm not really giving direction. Well, I'm not getting direction, I'm giving them. And it's kind of a good thing because I feel like as a player, I always try to give direction anyway. Yeah. It's probably not the great aspect, but I still tried to do that. So, but I also come from a long line of coaches. My dad obviously coached at Glenver for a really long time. He did football and wrestling for a while, and then he did baseball there with Coach Larry Wood. So he was there doing that, and then he came to Roanoke, obviously, in his coaching. My mom coached gymnastics for a long time, and she won 2 state titles at Cave Spring High School. And then my aunt, Linda Long, she was my coach in high school at Cave Spring. And, you know, I've just learned so much from them that it was kind of an easy transition from a player to a coach because I think I already had kind of that, like, thought process, I guess, to as I was playing to being a coach.
And also you get to see from the outside of a game situation kind of the mindset of a coach and day-to-day activities as well.
Right.
So.
It helped, though, in the long run, I feel like. So.
Well, again, we appreciate having you on the show today, and I'm sure that we can possibly get you to come on again in the future. But we will be back in just one moment with senior basketball player Nikki Moats.
Be sure to catch Roanoke College sports on Valley Vision TV, Comcast Channel 7 in Roanoke, Salem, Botetourt, Lexington, and Blacksburg. Brought to you by Mac and Bob's, Main Street, Salem. For programming information or schedules, go to valleyvisiontv.com.
We are back with senior women's basketball player Nikki Moats. Now, you've had quite a ride since your junior year at Lord Botetourt High School, where you were named All-American in basketball and earned postseason accolades as a volleyball player as well. Now, since then, you've been well-traveled, attending 3 schools in Tennessee, James Madison and Roanoke. You also have endured some setbacks and injuries along the way. With this being your final year as an athlete and one more semester as a student, what does this season mean to you before you move forward to the next phase?
Well, I definitely think I valued this season a little bit more. I'm a little older than most of the girls on the team. Just like you said before, I've traveled around a lot to a lot of other schools. But now, as going into my senior year, it's very precious to me this year. It's my time to, lead and lead by example to a group of very young girls this year. So I just want to be able to fill that role and be a good example for them and be a role model. It just means a lot to me because I've worked so hard since I've started playing basketball when I was 5. So to come from that, and I'm now 24, that's a lot of years playing basketball. So, I'm ready for the season. I think we have the chance to be a great team. So I'm very excited about that.
Now, you joined the Maroons in 2009, in the 2009-2010 season as a sophomore eligibility-wise, and helped guide the basketball program to their first NCAA tournament appearance since 99-2000. It was the first time you played collegiately since your freshman year in 2006, in 06-07 for the Volunteers under Pat Summitt. Could you tell us about that special season?
Yeah, definitely my first year coming back. So I really hadn't played a lot since my senior year of high school. I went out with an injury and got very limited minutes at Tennessee and JMU. I redshirted. So I was anticipated playing and being back on the floor, and being back here at Roanoke really put that drive back into my heart to want to play ball again. I was very comfortable here with Dunnigan and the girls, and it was just a great experience to be able to play, knowing I was going to be playing with players like Caitlin, and then meeting Kylie and Becca Bays, all people I played in high school. So it was kind of a twist, but it was fun, and it was a very, very special season for us.
Now, last year, you pushed yourself and got in phenomenal shape. You even played volleyball in the fall and led the Maroons to a 21-7 record for their third 20-win season in 4 years. Then you quickly got back into rhythm with basketball and had an outstanding season, leading the women to an ODAC championship for the first time since 2003. You were a missed bank shot three-pointer away from your second straight NCAA tournament appearance. What was your mentality last season, and how did you enjoy playing with close friends and teammates Kylie Lucas and Kendra Porter, as you previously mentioned?
Right. Last year was definitely fun for me. I was in a lot better shape than my first year when I came to Roanoke, and I do give a lot of credit for volleyball. It kind of helped me get ready for the season. I lost a bunch of weight, which was good for me. I needed to do that. But just being able to play with friends, actually, after we had a year of bonding with the other girls, we just were really close-knit last year. So it reminded me of my AAU team that I played with actually in Harrisonburg. We were very close-knit. We did a lot of things outside of basketball. We were very, very just close. So it was fun for me being able to play with all them and making friendships, not just with basketball, but also off the court. So for me, that made last year very special. And then the fact that, yeah, we lost in the ODAC championship, but I would not trade that moment for anything, well, unless we won. Sure. But it was a great experience for all of us, and we worked really, really hard the last 2 years, and I think that's what allowed us to make it to the tournament. So
now this season you've already gone through 2 surgeries, and now you're back in the swing of things. Has it been harder to get back into basketball after being out for so long?
I think it was, but then also with the mentality that it's my senior year, it's kind of give it all or nothing. So I knew I have to leave everything out on the floor and just come in. I knew I was going to be out of shape, missing preseason, but just being able to push myself in practice and kind of that extra drive and motivation that this is it. I'll be done after this season. So to kind of get everything out, I've worked hard for the last 10, 15 years playing ball, so just kind of being able to leave it all on the floor and work hard for that.
Well, we certainly wish you the best of luck in this season. And before we go, we understand that you have some hardware on your finger, and that congratulations are in order.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I got engaged about a month and a half ago. We're going to be getting married next August. My fiance Wes, that I actually met through Kylie, one of my teammates and my best friends. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting year. It's a lot of planning, a lot of stress, but I'm excited about it.
Well, congratulations on that, and again, good luck this season.
Thank you so much.
Nick will be back in just one moment with women's basketball coach Susan Dunnigan.
Welcome back. I'm June with women's basketball coach Susan Dunnigan. Coach, season's changing, basketball season getting ready to go. You guys did a scrimmage last night. How has everything gone for your team so far?
Slow. Slow, mainly because we're just so young. We've got a lot of young girls that we've got a lot of teaching to do right now. And, we've got one major upperclassman, and, of course, that's Nikki, one senior, 2 juniors, 2 sophomores, and 6 freshmen. And so it's been fun because the kids have worked so hard, and it's a great group of girls, but it's been a struggle just for the fact of just having to teach so much.
Now, you do bring back one big name, first-team All-ODAC center Nikki Moats, enjoyed a breakout junior year last year. She's had some surgeries this offseason, working her way back into shape. What have you seen from her so far this preseason?
A fantastic attitude. She is so ready to get the season started. And right now, of course, we've had another setback. She, she worked all summer. She had surgery on her ankle from a injury that it occurred 2 years ago, and then last year at the ODAC tournament she broke her wrist, and so she spent the whole summer just struggling to get back into shape. And the other night in a scrimmage she fell and hurt her other wrist. So right now we're trying to decide, is she too old to be playing or what?
Are you under the coaching limit now, or?
What do you mean, am I under the coaching limit?
I mean, you don't look a day older than 30. But
oh, thank you so much.
Now, you've had 2 scrimmages already, one against Alaska Anchorage, the other against Concord last night. What can you tell us about your team after seeing them face some outside competition?
Well, honestly, I was excited. They were a D2 school, very strong D2 school. They the night before they beat Liberty University by 25. And the night after they went to UVA and they played them and they lost to UVA like around 15 points or something like that. So I felt pretty good. Of course we didn't win, but we showed well and we did a lot of great things. And it was like putting these young ones into the fire. It was just like, oh my gosh, going up against these big, huge girls. And but they played well. They did well. And I was looking forward to our scrimmage against Concord a couple of days later, which we did not fare as well as we did the first night. But they're learning. We see good things, and that's what we're excited about because we've just got to keep building on those good things.
Now, this season you open up against Ferrum on Tuesday, a week from today. At home at the Best Center, Panthers picked second in the USA South Poll. And 4 starters coming back from an 18-9 year last year. What can you tell us about their team?
Well, as you said, they've got a lot of experience coming back, and I have a great deal of respect for Brian and what he's done with the program up there. And it's always a rivalry. We've gotten the best of it the last couple of years, but I know they're going to be ready for us and come after. I mean, just for the fact it's our first game for both teams, and I'm sure they'll be somewhat nervous as we're going to be. We will be also, but it's going to be a good battle. We'll give it all we've got, and I'm just, he's got a lot of guards, good guard play, and his strength, however, I still believe is in his inside game. So we'll have to devise something for that if Nikki can't go. We got to come up with another point guard. Are you ready to dress out?
I don't think I'm the correct gender for that, but that's a different conversation entirely. Now, you enter your 31st season at Roanoke, you're the longest tenured employee in the athletic department, 19 wins shy of 600, which would make you only the 6th coach in D3 history to get to that mark. What would that mean for you to be able to accomplish that feat?
Why do you have to ask these questions?
Because I can.
I tell you, it's just makes me tired to think about it. I've been that long, huh? But no, if we could win, if we could get the 19 games, that would just make me happy, regardless of what that meant as far as how many career wins. If we could get 19 wins this year, I'd be ecstatic. And we have that option, that opportunity, if these guys just really put into it,
Well, we're looking forward to next Tuesday. So Maroons at home, getting things kicked off against Ferrum. We'll have that game for you right here on maroons.roanoke.edu. Coach, thanks so much. I'll be right back with men's basketball senior.
Tell your mom hi for me, will you?
Hi, Mom. Coach Dunnigan says hello. Be right back with men's basketball senior Logan Singleton. Welcome back. I'm joined with men's basketball forward Logan Singleton. Logan, a lot looks like it's changed in a year. You've really emerged as a force in the second half of the season, averaging a double-double in the month of February, really helping your team down the stretch. What changed mentally for you the second half of the season?
I think it was just my confidence level. We went out to Vegas, and I had a couple good games, and then things just kind of carried over from there, and was able to have a couple good games after that.
Now, you had such a good prep career nearby at Hidden Valley High School. What made you want to stay close and attend Roanoke?
The fact that it was close by definitely played a major factor because I wanted the family to be able to come out and have their support. And I like the small school atmosphere, and I also like the way Coach Moore ran his program.
Now, you play alongside former high school teammate Zach Barrett, junior guard on this year's team. Another local product, Clay Lacey, played at rival Cave Spring. Did you have a good relationship with these two before you came to Roanoke?
Oh, definitely. I played basketball with ZB ever since middle school. And Clay, being from across town, you obviously know those guys and are playing against them all the time. So had good relationships with both of them.
They had a great summer, productive preseason. You come in good shape, healthy. And you suffered an injury before preseason last winter, which kind of forced a slow development back into the lineup. How do you feel about this season being in shape and coming in 100%?
Yeah, I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. I had a basketball-heavy summer and just ready to get the game started, ready to get the season underway.
What kind of competition did you face this summer?
All kinds. Got a lot of games in against VMI players. Our guys spent a lot of time around them. Went to Charlotte and worked a camp and got to play against some good players there. So definitely got better this summer.
Now, 6'8", still a good shot from the outside. I've heard of your 54-point outburst in a summer league game. You've also worked on being inside a little bit more. What do you think we can expect from you now in your final season at Roanoke?
I'm definitely going to strive for balance. For us to be successful, we need a strong inside game, and I think that's going to start with me. But I like to shoot the three, so I'm going to try to stretch the floor as well.
Logan, thanks so much for coming down. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
I'll be right back with men's basketball head coach Paige Moyer. Welcome back as basketball time. With us, we're joined by head coach Moyer. Now, coach, with a scrimmage and 3 weeks of practice so far, how do you think your team's progressing so far in the preseason?
Coming along real well. We're real excited for this season. We think that the most exciting thing is our guys had a good summer, and guys came in shape. They had a good fall, playing well together. It's a great group. They get along well. Even though I think we have a lot of experience, we're still relatively young, only having 2 seniors in this team. So we're real excited to play against some outside competition.
Yeah, as you have an exhibition coming up Friday down in South Carolina against Division I school in Furman. Special event you've done with them each season, bringing in a D1 school to play your D3 squad, like Virginia, Harvard, Radford as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about these opportunities and what it means for your young team?
Well, especially when it's an exhibition game, it's kind of like a no-lose situation because it's not going to count on our ledger towards our 25 games, but you get an opportunity to test yourselves against a Division I. Last year at UVA, I think it was a real positive experience. I mean, we're down 17 with less than 10 minutes to go, and they hit a few threes and it got away from us, but I think our guys got to challenge themselves and say, hey, what we're doing works. We've just got to get better at it. You're going to play against guys that it'll be the most size you see all year. The game's going to be as fast as it would be when you're playing against the best teams in the ODAC. And when you can replicate that in a scrimmage or an exhibition type atmosphere, it just pays off as you go into your season because we might play the toughest team we'll face at least for a month or two till we get in the ODAC right away. So it'll prepare us for the first weekend.
Now, last winter, you doubled your win total from the season before, and young guys have another year under their belt. You're also returning 2 senior captains, and we just talked to Logan Singleton, as well as Adam Kessler. You also have junior guard Quasi Ampensah back after 2 years of experience. Can you tell us a little bit about this trio of players and what you expect from them this season?
Well, I'd like to see them double the win total from last season. So if we do that, we'll win 24, and we'll be playing in March. But I think we have great possibilities, and that's not out of the realm of possibility. Logan is a young man who really came on strong at the end of last year, and I think he's had an up and down career with injuries, but it's finishing off just right. And like I said, he had a tremendous last half of the season. He had a really good summer. He came back in good shape, ready to play. I mean, Logan has become a gym rat, and then really when you have a senior that's doing those type things, that's a great growth opportunity for the young guys, because they're seeing his guy's our best player, and he's in the gym all the time working on his game. He's in shape. Adam Kessler's the same kind of kid. Adam is a gym rat, a kid that works really hard. I mean, you can just look at his body and see this kid. He cares. He's worked to become a basketball player. And I think, he's got a chance to do some things for us this year, on and off the court as a leader and a young man who can do some things for us on the court defensively, and as a guy that sets up other players. He's a very smart basketball player. Quasi, I think, had a fantastic last half of the year. The game at Randolph was probably one of the best individual performances we had out of anybody last year. And Quasi is an electrifying player. We played against Avery at the scrimmage, and he had like 3 steals just to start the scrimmage. And he's a young man who can really change the game for you in a good way and set the tempo in a different way.
Now, your sophomore class is eager for another year to go out and prove themselves. Ethan Humphreys, Clay Lacey, Jack Hamilton got valuable minutes, started a few games for you as well last season. And then you have Andrew Daniels and Dylan Berry, who are back after various injuries that kept them off the floor. How has this class prepared themselves for this upcoming season?
Well, we still think that it has a chance to become one of the better classes I've had in 23 years. And those guys, along with that, there's another one, Colby Shorter, who's kind of half and half last year, but he's pushing for opportunities this year. But those young men are really a great, well-rounded group. I mean, there's some inside guys, some outside guys. Ethan's a point guard, and they're young men who work very hard. They come every day and have a work ethic. They want to be successful. And I think they really helped change our culture last year. I think them coming in, they pushed the old guys. They were good enough talent-wise to do that, and it made everybody better last year. And really, we had freshmen on the court, 2 and 3 freshmen at a lot of key times last season. So that pays off for you. Even though we're still a young team, we've got guys with experience.
Now, your situation at Roanoke much different than other schools in the country, as you have to wait a week just to get started with tryouts before you even start practice for the preseason. Have you, over the years, how have you been able to work around this obstacle?
Well, I mean, first off, we're one of the few schools that has a full week of fall break, and I think that just shows how bright our faculty is to have a full week of fall break and break up the year like that. It's difficult in basketball because it always falls, like October 15th fell on the Saturday when fall break started. And I certainly don't want to take a full week away from our guys and everybody else gets that. So we'll come back late the next week, and it's really not a big deal. I think we have enough time. There's a full month of basketball before you start games. And the games, we can start on November 15th. We start playing games 3 or 4 days later. So we get just about as much opportunity as anybody else before we play our first game. And, it'd be nice to start when everybody else does, but starting a few days later is not a big deal. And I think it's refreshing. And I get out and recruit a little bit, too. It's funny, I was at a really big high school tournament with a ton of players, and I was the only college coach in the gym. So it was really a good opportunity for me, too.
Now, your team was picked 9th in the ODAC preseason poll announced a couple weeks ago at Media Day. What does this selection mean to your team and your staff entering the season?
Well, to me, it's a tremendous motivator, and I know it is for my guys. None of my guys want to finish 9th place. And part of it's not because they think we're bad. The league is going to be that good, but we think we certainly have goals much higher than that. We want to compete to be in the top of the ODAC. If you're getting the top 4 in the ODAC, you've got a shot at being in the NCAA tournament. You definitely got a shot at winning the ODAC tournament. And anything can happen. I mean, it's a long season. I've been here long enough. Between me and Coach Dunnigan, I was kind of adding that up. I've been here 23 years. We've 50 years combined between us. And I've seen a little bit of everything. I've seen some bad teams be really good, or teams people don't think we're going to be very good be good. And I've seen good teams falter because the chemistry is just not right, or you have some injuries. So we're going to this season to make a mark for ourselves, to get back to the top of the ODAC where our program belongs. And it's a great motivator to put that 9th place in front of our guys all the time. And really, it's coming from the coaches. So that's what the coaches think about us, fellas.
Now, when we talked to you at this time last year, you had talked about how after coming off the worst season in a long time, that you had redone things, a different brand of Roanoke basketball. What can we expect this season? Is it the same carryover brand from last year?
I think so. I think last year, coming from a year that was, a catastrophe as far as how it ended and how our season was that year, for a lot of reasons. We had lost some good players, and the chemistry just didn't mesh that one year. But, we wanted the players to become accountable. Hey, we've got to work outside when the coaches are there to be a good college basketball team. In Division III, the rules are much more stringent as far as what you can do in the off season. So your kids have to do things in the off season to get better. They have to bond. And I think it was a learning experience for all of us. I mean, it was an uncomfortable year 2 years ago, but last year, we only won 12 games, but we really did some nice things last year. We played some great competition outside the league too, and I think it prepared us so maybe we can have a breakthrough year this year and go to the next level, because our talent level certainly is good enough. We just got to get the chemistry right. But I think it was a learning experience, and we made it through that year. We moved on, had a solid year last year. I think as coaches, we don't take anything for granted anymore, and I think our kids don't either. And we want to be successful, and we want to send guys like Logan and Adam out right.
Paige, thanks so much for coming down.
Thank you,
We appreciate
always.
it.
Appreciate you doing this.
It's a pleasure. We'll be right back with Dave Sampson and the Meets of the Week. Welcome back with Sampson. Time for the Meets of the Week. What do we want to start with tonight?
Well, I don't know. You guys asked me earlier. What do you want to start with? Men's soccer, how about?
Let's go with men's soccer.
Let's go out on a limb and start with men's soccer.
Men's soccer on the ticket tonight. 7 nominees. That might be a record. First up, Troyer, Makel, and Clater.
What's the common denominator there, Nick?
Seniors.
God, nothing slips by you, does it, tough guy?
Might take a little while.
That's right.
Mercer.
I nominated all of our seniors because I thought they did a great job. They played well through adversity and through good times, so all of our seniors got nominated. Avery, Drew, Jordan, Jake, Nick, Casey, and Andrew. Anything to add to that? Not really. Cat got your tongue? So if you had to pick one, who would you pick for the meet of the week of these fine 7 seniors?
Probably I'd go with the captain. I'd give this one to Hal.
I agree. That's who I was going to give it to. Andrew Howe. Andrew Howe, congratulations. Congratulations on a great season, first in the ODAC this year. They did a phenomenal job. I like the way they played. They stuck together as a good bunch of guys and stuck up for each other and always had each other's back. So, Andrew, come by and get your T-shirt as well as the other 6. I got shirts for you guys, too.
Next up, women's soccer.
Women's soccer, our 3 nominees this week are Jamie Johnston, Carmen Graves, and Carolyn Salbacher. What's the common denominator there?
Not a clue.
Trick question. There is no common denominator.
Fair enough.
I picked Jamie because if you know anything about her, normally she's a defender on the field for the Maroons, and she had the first shot of the game against Virginia Wesleyan. So it just told me right there. I happened to stay home and I watched the game online with the stats. And Jamie was giving it all. She's down there and she's taking shots, so I nominated her for that, just for her effort. Carmen is up there because she got, if you look at her stats this year, she got an exponentially or an abnormally large amount of her goals from heading the ball in. And as we know, typically a headbutt automatically gets you nominated as meet of the week. So, Carmen, you're up there for headbutting a large number of goals in. And Carolyn Sauerbacher, our freshman goalie from Dunkirk, Maryland, she did a great job through the final stretch this year, made some great saves, so she's nominated. I'm going to put you on the spot again, Nick. Of these 3 young ladies, who do you like for the meet of the week?
I think you have to give it to Graves.
Well, you think I have to, but I'm not. I'm giving it to Jamie.
All right.
Jamie hasn't won all year long. So I'm giving it to her because I liked her effort all year long. She's a senior, so we're going to send her away with a Meet of the Week T-shirt.
Always a good way to go out. Next up, field hockey.
Field hockey, I got 1 nominee, so I'm guessing that
I think I got this one.
that you're going to be able to hit the nail on the head. Our winner, Tina Ciccolone, she's second all-time. We moved into second all-time in saves for the women's field hockey team at the Maroons. She had a phenomenal season. The girls, congratulations. They won 6 games this year, which equals the total that the program has had in the last 2 or 3 years. So my hat's off to Bree and Lee and the coaches, as well as the girls. I know we got some good recruits coming in. Tina did a heck of a job all year long. She made some phenomenal saves, and I can't help but give it to her. I know it's not her first award, but I'm really proud of her. And so she gets the Meet of the Week for the final time for the field hockey this year.
And our last fall sport before we move into the winter volleyball.
Volleyball, I got 2 nominees. Jordan Haga had a season best, 19 assists in their last outing. And Shannon Stone, also with a season best, 27 assists. Great effort on behalf of both young ladies. I think Shannon is a previous winner. I know Jordan is not. So I'm going to go with Jordan this week. I think she had a great effort. She finished strong. She wasn't a mainstay at the beginning of the season, but she came on and got a lot of quality playing time as the season progressed. So I'm really proud of her efforts. So, Jordan, congratulations.
Moving on to basketball, we'll start on the women's side. 3 nominees.
The women's side?
Basketball, women's basketball.
Well, I got men's basketball. I got 3 nominees. Women's basketball, I got 1 nominee.
That's right.
So you tell me which way you want to go, big fella.
Let's go with men's basketball.
Well, we'll go with men's basketball. I got 3 nominees, just like we said. Andrew Daniels, Clay Lacey, and Jack Hamilton. They're up there for 2 reasons. They have given phenomenal efforts. We've done some special things in the weight room for them preseason with Coach Moyer. And these 3 kids have absolutely gotten after it. They have done everything I've asked of them and then some. These are the kind of guys that come into your office and say, hey, Coach, can we do some extra work on the arc trainers, or do some extra work on the Stairmasters, or do some extra lifting? These 3 guys did it on a consistent basis. I couldn't be prouder of them, as well as I watched their first scrimmage of the season, and these guys, absolutely, they play like their hair is on fire. There's very little jogging around, very little lackadaisical effort. They go at it hard from the minute they step on the floor to the minute the coach sends a sub in for them. So I couldn't be any more proud of anybody else. I look for great things from all 3 of these guys all year long, and a successful season for the Maroons for the men's basketball team. So my winner, it's a tough choice. I know Clay won a couple times last year. I think Jack won 1 time last year. And I'm going to go off the charts. I'm going to give it to Andrew. I was tickled with his effort in the last scrimmage, and he has absolutely gotten after it in the weight room. So, Andrew Daniels, congratulations. I got a shirt waiting for you.
And our last meet of the week of the night, 1. We know who it's getting.
I'm going to narrow it down to 1 choice, Nikki Moats, senior from Botetourt. I've watched this young lady struggle through injury after injury. She always comes back. She fights her way back and figures out a way to get it done. She's quite a workhorse. I know she's a quality student. She's recently engaged to be married, so we're happy for her there. I know she suffered a wrist injury last night in the scrimmage against Concord. And, you know, I talked to her a little bit in the training room today. She's kind of busted up about it because, I mean, number one, she's a competitor, and I feel bad for her. My heart goes out to her. So, you know, Nikki, I wish you all the best, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see her on the court again before the end of the season. So Nikki's going to get my meat of the week because, you know, she was the one that was instrumental in getting the girls' basketball team started and all their preseason conditioning, both on the court and in the weight room with me. And, you know, I really respect that, and I'm happy, I'm tickled, and I think the girls are going to reap the benefits of the time they spent with me in the weight room for their season to come.
So Andrew, Jamie, Tina, Jordan, Andrew, and Nikki. See Samson for your T-shirts, and congratulations. Samson, thank you, as always, and Richmond and I will be right back. Welcome back. Looking ahead, the women's soccer team will travel to Atlanta this weekend to face Center College in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Game set to start at 7:30 on Saturday. Will be available online. Check out the link at maroons.roanoke.edu.
And we're going to take a look at the bracket here as, again, Roanoke will play Center. Center coming in at 14-4-2, while Roanoke enters at 14-5-1. They'll play the winner of Emory and Piedmont. Emory undefeated this season, 15-0. 2 ties. They'll face Piedmont, who's 17-2-1. On the other end of the bracket, you've got teams like Stevens Tech, Westfield State, Williams, and Virginia Wesleyan. So all things considered, there is a possibility that Roanoke and Virginia Wesleyan could see each other, but got to get through a couple games first.
Could be a little while. We'll wait and see. The men's basketball team will open their season on November 19th as they play in the V Foundation Classic. The Maroons will meet number 13th ranked Emory University in the first game of the season. Game time set for 2 o'clock.
And the women's basketball team begins their regular season action this Tuesday, a week from today, of course, as they play host to Ferrum College in the Bass Center. That game is slated to begin at 7 o'clock.
Now, I want to send special thanks out to Dave Mulford, Bob Rotans, and Alan Johnston. For all of us here at Mac and Bob's, Sports Information Director Brad Moore, Technical Director Reed Hall, Athletic Director Scott Allison. For Richmond Rambler, I'm Nick DeSanctis. We'll see you next time.